259 you're looking at there is the cart of Oliver Hodgson, the pole sitter. And there is Oliver Hodgson, the driver. Car number 245 is Carlos Gil, the very impressive Spaniard in contemplation there, isn't he? 30 seconds board is shown. So let's have a look how they line up. That strong British Isles flavour to the front of the race. Oliver Hodgson from England is on the front row in pole position. The world champion Charlie Eastwood from Ireland is on the front row in the off-pole position. Carlos Gil of Spain shares row 2 with Kyle Fowley of Scotland. Row 3, Arvo Talvar of Estonia, Peter Betzel of the Czech Republic. Row 4, Ed Brand of England, Nick Neary, the former United States champion. Row 5, Philip Morin. Row 6, Martin Henkel Mortensen. It's a Scandinavian row 5, Scandinavian row 5. Philip from Sweden, Martin from Denmark. Row 6, Piers Lehane from Australia and Philip Arscott from the United States. Row 7, Tyler Greenbury from Australia. Had his birthday earlier in the week. And Polish driver Kasper Bileski joining him on row 7. Another Aussie, Daniel Rochford, on row 8 with Estonian Kairo Kivi. Row 9, Max Aitken from England, Nathan Parkins from South Africa. And the top 20 completed by North American duo Zach Clemandamello of Canada and Andrew Palmer of the USA. Central America represented by Alfredo Zabalza of Mexico on row 11 with Mark Ferenc of Hungary. Zav Pozzoli of France and Sam Schippers of Belgium, although he is a Dutchman, are on row 12. Another Dutchman, Brian Ayrden, is on row 13 with Sweden's Jesper Magnusson. Jorge Arturo Vitar of Argentina and Albert Gil, brother of Carlos Gil, are row 14. Top 30 completed by Bruno Borlido and the very, very, very unlucky American champion Oliver Askew, who's got to do it all from the 30th place on row 15. Sandor Jakab and Harry Webb, row 16. Maxi Weinzierl and Musashi Nakanishi, row 17. 20 laps, Oliver Hodgson on pole, Charlie Eastwood joining him on the front row. Oliver Hodgson gets the better start, but Charlie Eastwood is going for a big blast round the wide outside, gets him into second place. So Oliver Hodgson in the early lead, but Charlie Eastwood, I thought Charlie was bidding to make a move there. Carlos Gil in third place, and Carlos Gil bidding to get past Charlie Eastwood at this early stage. We've lost a couple of drivers on turn 1, but they weren't front runners. This is Oliver Hodgson 1, Charlie Eastwood 2, and Oliver Gil, Carlos Gil, Oliver Hodgson 1, Charlie Eastwood 2, and Carlos Gil 3. And Oliver Hodgson's strategy appears to be blast away from the start and leave him for dead. He's 10 lengths to the good. He's 12, 15 lengths to the good already. And Charlie Eastwood now, was that Charlie Eastwood or Carlos Gil dropping places there? Kyle Fowley made a move, it was Charlie. Oliver Hodgson is the clear leader at the end of the opening lap. Carlos Gil second. Kyle Fowley in third place. Charlie Eastwood fourth. Peter Betzel fifth. Ed Brand 6, Arvo Talvar 7, Philip Morin 8, Nick Neary was 8, Nick Neary was 8, Philip Morin was 9th, and Daniel Rochford completed the top 10. Oliver Askew from 30th to 14th on the opening lap. Ladies and gentlemen, from 30th to 14th, the American champion on the first lap of a 20-lap race has collected 16 places to the good. Kai Fowley moving up into second place. Oliver Hodgson's big lead is now a small lead. Oliver Hodgson coming under pressure. Kyle Fowley, the Scotsman, putting pressure on Oliver Hodgson, the Englishman. Charlie Eastwood, the Irishman. A lot of our silly, childish jokes go, there was an Englishman, an Irishman and a Scotsman. Well, there were, and there are, and the Scotsman goes in front. Kyle Fowley goes in front of Oliver Hodgson. Charlie Eastwood in third place. So once again, there was an Englishman, an Irishman and a Scotsman. Where were they? Well, they were at New Orleans in Louisiana, racing in the Rotax Senior World Final. Kyle Fowley was the Scotsman and leading. Oliver Hodgson, the Englishman, and second, Charlie Eastwood, the Irishman, the world champion. And in third place, Charlie Eastwood's strategy is over a long 20-lap race. Oliver Hodgson goes back in front. Oliver Hodgson retakes the lead. Coming round to start lap 4, Oliver Hodgson leads. Kyle Fowley is second. Charlie Eastwood has lost third place to Carlos Gill and fourth place to Ed Brand because the world champion has dropped to sixth place behind fifth place Arvo Talvar. Peter Betzel seventh, Philip Maureen eighth, Nick Neary, the American former champion, ninth, and Daniel Rochford completing the top 10. Oliver Askew up into 14th place. Harry Webb, who started way down, the junior world champion of last year, he's up into 18th place. Good race at the front, isn't it? Oliver Hodgson, England. Kyle Fowley, Scotland. Carlos Gill, Spain. Ed Brand, England. Arvo Talvar, Estonia. Charlie Eastwood, the world champion, Ireland. Peter Betzel, Czech Republic 7th. Philip Maureen, Sweden 8th. And the first of the non-Europeans is Nick Neary, the former American champion. 3 times an American champion in Mini-Max, Junior Max and Senior Max. And there's a driving standards flag coming. And I don't just see the number that it's going to, so I can't tell you too much more about it. In fact, it may have not been coming, as already given. We're on lap 5 of a 20-lap race. So we're in the early stages, not yet at the quarter race distance, and Oliver Hodgson's got a lead of 0.2 of a second. It's amazing how he had that really big lead, and that was totally negated and he lost the lead, but then having got back in front, he's kicked away again. Oliver Hodgson in cart number 259. Oliver Hodgson from the United Kingdom, leading Kyle Fowley from the UK. Carlos Gill from Spain in third place. Ed Brand on the podium in a Rotax World Championship in third place, I think, in Alain. Excuse me, it wasn't, it was Sharm El Sheikh, but that was in junior level. And in fifth place, Arvo Talvar, and this 5 are well clear of sixth place driver Philip Maureen, who in turn is well clear of the former American champion Nick Neary, running now in 7th place. So 2 places gained by Nick Neary on that last lap. Charlie Eastwood is the surprise package, isn't he? Dropping down to 9th. Oliver Askew, who started so far down, let me double check. Oliver Askew started 30th and he's up to 12th. Oh, and as I look at the screen, out of the corner of my eye, just spotting a couple of moves further down, it didn't affect the front 3. Oliver Hodgson, Kyle Fowley and Carlos Gill remain the 1, 2 and 3. Ed Brand and Arvo Talvar 4th and 5th, but then there's some changes. The change was Oliver Askew, the American champion, I repeat again, starting 30th, is now 7th. From 30th to 7th in 6 laps. Well, you can't really believe Oliver Askew could win this race from 30th on the grid, but it's a 20-lap race, and we're only on lap 7. We're not yet at the half race distance. Does of course get a little bit harder when we get to the front runners, but a tremendous effort in adversity by the champion. Incidentally, in the Nations Cup, the leaders, United States of America, 1,299 points. Second, Australia, 1,068. Third, Spain, 1,049. Fourth, UK. Fifth, Canada. So the USA already has a world champion, and as we speak, the USA leads the Nations Cup. Oliver Hodgson leads the senior final, Kyle Fowley is second, Carlos Gill third. So England, Scotland, Spain, the 1, 2 and 3, and they're pulling away a little bit from Arvo Talvar. Arvo Talvar, who's had a good world finals. He's a little bit further in front of Ed Brand than he was moments ago. But the surprise, oh dear, Charlie Eastwood is in 15th place at the end of the 7th row. And the lovable Irishman defending his world title made a good start, but fell away from about 1.5 laps onwards, and really for the remaining, or the next half dozen laps, has fell away rather severely. Oliver Hodgson leads, Kyle Fowley second, Carlos Gill third, tiniest of gaps to Arvo Talvar fourth, then a much bigger gap to Ed Brand fifth. Philip Morin sixth, and then the best of the non-Europeans now is Oliver Askew from the United States, the champion, in 7th place, and the next best American is Nick Neary in 9th place, the former champion. We are on lap 9 of a 20-lap senior final. And that's a nice move by Arvo Talvar into 3rd place. The Estonian driver goes past the Spaniard. Arvo Talvar goes into 3rd place past Carlos Gill, and that was at the end of lap 9. We set off on lap 10. Ollie Hodgson, Kyle Fowley, Arvo Talvar, and Arvo Talvar's just done a 56.1, and the race leader has done a 56.24. Carlos Gill was going quick at 56.17 previously, but that fast Arvo Talvar lap was 56.15, although Oliver Askew has set the lap record at the moment, fastest lap, not the lap record of the circuit, the fastest lap, 56.130. The fastest driver on the circuit is the 7th place driver, Oliver Askew, in kart 272. Well, as you can see on the screen, they're rather spread out. Now we don't have a lot of close wheel-to-wheel racing. Oliver Hodgson, the Englishman, coming round to complete the half-race distance. And since we are at the half-race distance, I'll give you a full call-over. At lap 10 of 20 in the senior final, Oliver Hodgson leads, Kyle Fowley second, Arvo Talvar third, Carlos Gill fourth, Edward Brand fifth, Philip Morin sixth, Oliver Askew seventh, Peter Betzel eighth, Nick Neary 9, and Tyler Greenberry completes the top 20. Alfredo Zabalza is 11th, Daniel Rochford 12th, the world champion Charlie Eastwood climbs from 15th to 13th, Nathan Parkins 14th, Martin Hentel Morkensen 15th, Andrew Palmer 16th, Albert Gill 17th, Casper Bileski 18th, Sam Shippers 19th, and it's Pierce Lehane who completes the top 20. We lost Philip Arscott right at the start. We lost Zach Clemendamello right at the start. The other 32 drivers are all circulating. This is lap 12 of 20. Oliver Hodgson continues to lead. We're on the infield technical section, but the red race suit following behind that black race suit is Kyle Fowley following Oliver Hodgson, but Arvo Talvar in the blue race suit getting closer. Those three just detached Carlos Gill, the Spaniard who won the qualifying competition. We're on lap 13, excuse me, we are not, we're on lap 12. The leaders are now on that long straight, the longest straight I've seen in international karting, as I keep saying. Every time I look at it I think, wow, almost looks like a drag strip and a half a drag. Oliver Hodgson coming round to complete lap 12. Kyle Fowley still close by. The fastest on that lap was Arvo Talvar of the front runners. Fastest overall is still Oliver Askew. Oliver Askew, the first driver into the 55s. Oliver Askew has just done a 55.9 lap, but is still in 7th place. There's quite a lot of ground to be made up. Let me just get a visual on him out of the window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he could well be reaching Philip Morin shortly, but even then there's a gap of tarmac to be made up to reach Edward Brand, who's running 5th at the moment. Wouldn't rule it out that Oliver Askew could make the podium. It does seem a big ask to ask him to win the World Championship at the moment. And now Arvo Talvar getting closer to Kyle Fowley. Oh, and Kyle Fowley clipping the curb, racing at 10/10ths. This is the start of lap 14, and Kyle Fowley bids to take the lead. Well, Kyle Fowley may feel that if Arvo Talvar's going to give him grief from behind, he may as well try to get something in front happening. So the Scotsman takes the lead on lap 14. Kyle Fowley leads. Oliver Hodgson is in 2nd place. Arvo Talvar 3rd. Carlos Gill and Ed Brand a little bit further back in 5th place. Well, say further back. And oh my, Oliver Hodgson, if he's taken the lead from that, it was taking the lead from nothing. But he's left a gap, and Arvo Talvar's gone through. Oliver Hodgson manoeuvred his way past Kyle Fowley, but he left a lot of tarmac blank. And Arvo Talvar says, well, if you're going to leave a big blank space of tarmac, I'll drive through it. But Oliver Hodgson, much faster on that fast part of the circuit, retakes the lead at the end of lap 14. So we set off on lap 15. Oliver Hodgson leads, Arvo Talvar 2nd, Kyle Fowley 3rd, Carlos Gill a lot closer in 4th, Ed Brand 5th. Oliver Askew in 6th place has got past Philip Morin. No, Philip Morin has gone back in front of Oliver Askew, so this is where the hill gets a lot steeper for Oliver Askew. He went to 6th. Kyle Fowley gone back to 2nd place, that at the expense of Arvo Talvar. But that little exchange has all played into the hands of Oliver Hodgson, whose lead of 0.2 of a second at the end of lap 14 is now a lead of at least double that. We're on that long, fast straight where Oliver Hodgson truly excels, and Arvo Talvar does as well, because he goes back into 2nd. And Carlos Gill goes 3rd, and all of a sudden that's looked very ugly for Kyle Fowley, who comes off a podium place. And Kyle Fowley, a little bit of a desperate move there. Well, I mustn't say that, it's worked. Looks behind him and acknowledges to Carlos Gill that might have been a bit hairy. Oh, and Carlos Gill getting a bit of a collision, and they've let Kyle Fowley back through. Well, that was a bit fortuitous, to say the lead, when Ed Brand and Carlos Gill and Kyle Fowley were having their coming together, and that's to the advantage of Oliver Askew, who closes forward a little bit more. Oliver Hodgson, we're at the 3/4 race distance, and we move into the final quarter of the senior final here in the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals 2013. It's a very good final. Oliver Hodgson leads, Arvo Talvar in 2nd place, and it's a battle royal for 3rd place. At the moment that's going in favour of Kyle Fowley. Behind Kyle Fowley, Ed Brand 4th, Carlos Gill 5th, then Oliver Askew. Got a little bit more ground to make up as Oliver Askew. It's been a great drive by Oliver Askew from 30th place to 6th. But I just think that unless something dramatic happens in front of him, a podium place will be beyond the American champion. So unlucky in the pre-final, you just have to think what might have been. But hey, this is motorsport, this is karting. What might have been, always the case. Sorry to tell you in Northern Ireland, in Ireland generally, that although Charlie Eastwood is improving dramatically, gone from 15th up to 10th in the last 3 laps, but 10th with only 4 laps to go, bit of a struggle. Big shout again to Johnny Eastwood and the family watching at home, and also the Ulster Kart Club and the Northern Ireland Karting Association. You're having your annual awards dinner tonight in Northern Ireland, and I do wish you well. Lovely people, my Irish friends. But it does look, as Charlie goes in front of me at the moment, he is, let me see, in 10th place still. Oliver Hodgson, the race leader, is on lap 18. 277 way down the field has come off the pace. That's Sandor Jakab. Something's happened to him. Daniel Rochford has had a problem. He's dropped back badly. But Oliver Hodgson continuing to hold this advantage over Arvo Talvar. Kyle Fowley under serious pressure from Ed Brand. And Ed Brand bids to go third and does go third. Edward Brand into third place at the end of lap 18. Oliver Hodgson is your leader. Arvo Talvar second. Edward Brand third. Kyle Fowley fourth. And Oliver Askew in fifth place. Well, I said I don't think Oliver Askew could make the podium. You know, he's only about 5 kart lengths away as Kyle Fowley comes back on Ed Brand. That was dramatic driving, and Oliver Askew closes on the pair of them. And Oliver Askew, I think, is splitting the Brits. He's gone past Edward Brand, and Oliver Askew all of a sudden could be looking at a podium position, because Oliver Askew is now fourth. Oliver Askew in fourth place has just got the Scot in front of him. And Oliver Askew bidding to get at least a podium place. We're on lap 19 of 20. Kyle Fowley and Edward Brand and Arvo Talvar have all held that third place. We set off on the last lap. Oliver Hodgson leads, Arvo Talvar second, Kyle Fowley third, and Oliver Askew goes onto the podium place. And forgive me, my voice is going, but Oliver Askew, the American champion from 30th, gets himself up. Don't think he's done any kindness to Kyle Fowley, but hey, this is the last lap of a world final, and nobody's saying after you, sir. It does look as if Oliver Hodgson is safe, although Arvo Talvar is mounting a very late challenge. But Oliver Askew from 30th on the grid has driven up to third place on the final lap of the senior final. Has Arvo Talvar got any last burst on Oliver Hodgson? Don't think so. I think the Brits got it. And coming home to take the victory, it's Oliver Hodgson. Arvo Talvar second, and Oliver Askew from the United States of America on the podium in third place. I do have a little bit of sympathy with Kyle Fowley of Scotland in fourth place and therefore off the podium, but it was a great drive by the American. Philip Morin found some form late on to go fifth. Carlos Gil tops a great event, finishing sixth. Peter Betzel of the Czech Republic seventh. Ed Brand faded away a little bit late on. A little bit of that was at the hands of Oliver Askew, and finished eighth. Nick Neary, the American champion last year, finished ninth, and the world champion at least makes the top 10. Charlie Eastwood finishing in 10th place, but sadly for him, relinquishing his crown.
One more final lap, ladies and gentlemen. The D2 starting at 3:35, going about 10 minutes time. And I'm looking at Robbie's outside there.
Sprinkling.
It's sprinkling.
It's a little misty sprinkle right now.
That could,
Misty sprinkle.
that could shake things up. We're going to go with Oliver Hodgson here, our winner.
We'll get Oliver after he does his TV interview with Coach Anyway, and we'll have a chance to talk to Oliver and grab him and have a quick chat.
Just want to remind everybody that 4:45 is the award ceremony, prize ceremony, so make sure that you come up with us here at the event center. Let me get this right before I leave this place. The event center, that's how it's called. So make your way to the event center at 4:45 for the award ceremony. Thank you.
Well, there's the replay of Oliver Hodgson. Knows that Arvo Talvar can't go past. The margin at the end was only 0.04 of a second, but Oliver Hodgson knew he'd got the victory at that point. Good drive by Arvo Talvar, really brave finish. The drive of the race, in many ways, you ought to say it's the world champion, and I do. But Oliver Askew from 15th row of the grid, the outside of the 15th row of the grid, in 30th place, onto the podium in third. Kyle Fowley, the Scotsman, a great drive, just missing the podium. Philip Morin completing the top 5. America's Nick Neary finished 9th. Ireland's world champion Charlie Eastwood has got to save it for another year. Had a great year, Charlie Eastwood, won the Florida Winter Tour, the Rotax Euro Challenge, and really looked a strong contender for this title, but it didn't go right for him in the final. Good drive by Andrew Palmer into 13th place. Martin Henkel Mortensen may feel that he could have done better than 17th given where he was earlier in the event. And some real disappointment for the Aussies, losing both Daniel Rochford and Pierce Lehane before the end of the full race distance. Last year's World Senior Champion Charlie Eastwood will be disappointed. Last year's World Junior Champion Harry Webb will be disappointed. He went out at the half race distance. Okay, the world champion is Oliver Hodgson. He's down at trackside talking to Jenny Wade.
Grace, now you told me a little bit difficult at the beginning.
Yeah, on the first lap I was lucky enough to get a good break and I chucked it all away.